Quesadillas aren't usually known to be a go-to recipe when it comes to maintaining a diet and losing weight, until today. Let's start with a poblano pepper. When roasted, these things are an absolute flavor bomb and highly underrated in my opinion. I'm roasting 4, so I have enough poblanos for the rest of the week, but you only need to make 1 or 2. Throw them in the oven under the broiler and let them roast. We want essentially all of the skin to be black. This usually takes about 5 minutes per side, but make sure you keep an eye on them. If you don't have a poblano, you can roast a red pepper or even a green pepper and still get a ton of added flavor as well. Anyways, while those roast, let's get our cheese ready. For this, we have a reduced fat Colby Jack that is the perfect choice for a quesadilla. Pull out the grater and shred this bad boy down. When you are done, throw it in a plastic bag and put it in the fridge. The poblanos should be blackened by now, so we'll give them a quick flip and start on our ground beef. For this, I will be using 93.7 because we still get the flavor of the fat for only a couple extra calories. Get a pan on medium-high heat and get it nice and hot. You should hear that sizzle once the meat hits the pan. Now that the meat is in the pan, press down on it with your spatula and try and flatten it out. I am trying to form some crust on the meat to get even more flavor into our end product. Add some salt over the top and check the poblanos again. Sometimes the sides of the poblanos are still green and it may be necessary to turn them on their sides to finish them off. Since they will now be closer to the flame, the blackening will happen very quickly. Once we have a nice browning on the first side of the meat, we will mix it around, and this is where I try and start breaking it down into small pieces. To do this, I use a potato masher and twist and turn. This only takes a minute or two, and when done, our poblanos should be finished, so I will take them out of the oven and set them on the counter for 10 to 15 minutes. During the testing process, I have covered a few of the poblanos, which supposedly makes it easier to peel the skin, and I have also left some uncovered. I found no difference in the difficulty of peeling, so I will just leave them uncovered. Back to our meat. If you have any meat that isn't fully cooked yet, give it another mix, but if it's done, simply put it in a container and off to the side. At this point, we will take the skin off of our poblanos and deseed them as well. This will only take a couple of minutes, at which point I chop them up into bite-sized pieces, sprinkle some salt over the top, mix it together, and throw it into a small container. By the way, if you don't get every single seed out, that's okay. It is definitely not a make or break for this recipe, and you won't notice if there are a couple seeds in the quesadilla. Quesadillas are even better with a dip, so we're going to throw together a quick salsa crema. Grab a bowl and add 220 grams of fat-free Greek yogurt, 1 small can or 112 grams of green chilies, 10 grams of lemon juice, 5 grams of fresh cilantro, 4 grams of minced garlic, and 4 grams of salt. Using an immersion blender or food processor, mix this all together. If you want this crema a bit thicker, which I personally like, throw a very, very small dusting of xanthan gum over the top and thoroughly mix it in. Empty into a container and put it to the side. Time to build. Today we are using these carb counter soft taco tortillas because they are only 45 calories per tortilla and make for a perfectly sized quesadilla. We'll put our tortilla on the counter, and first we'll add 17.5 grams of fat-free mozzarella, followed by 17.5 grams of Colby Jack, 24 grams of our roasted poblano, and to be honest, I love adding the crema inside of the quesadilla, and it helps the ground beef stick, so I'll add 25 grams of our salsa crema, 30 grams of ground beef, another 17.5 grams of Colby Jack, and another 17.5 grams of fat-free mozzarella. In my opinion, the layering of this quesadilla makes for an even tastier end product, so this is why I do it in this way. Of course, you can layer everything in however you would like. We'll fold our tortilla over and press down. If anything is starting to pop out, just push it back in. Put a pan on medium heat, and while this is getting hot, we will add one last layer of flavor. Grab a small glass, add 3 grams of butter to it, and heat it up in the microwave for 20 to 30 seconds or until melted. Then, using a brush, cover the entire half of the tortilla with butter. This will give you an even browning and extra flavor in every single bite. When the pan is hot, put the butter side down, and while that side is cooking, brush the remaining butter on the other side. Once the first side is done, maybe 2 minutes max, flip to the other side and finish browning. Once finished, plate it, cut it in half, and enjoy. You now have enough prepped ingredients to make another 5 of these in only a few minutes time, and you can have quesadillas every day of the week. With these being prepped, it is important to have meals ready for the rest of the day, and in this video here, I go over 4 different meals I eat throughout the day to keep me full and satisfied while keeping the cravings away. Massive shout out to Joshua Weissman for the inspiration for this recipe, and until next time, deuces.